Just waiting for the notification. Do you need to listen with headphones?
Nah.
All right.
I mean, I think I'm getting all right that I can ballpark it.
Cool.
By the thing.
Yeah, they've been sounding good.
Yeah.
So. And there it is.
There it is?
Yep.
Okay.
I forgot I had a do not disturb on, so didn't make a sound. And there it is. All right, hey guys.
Good evening.
Good evening.
We need to pause for...
Oh, yeah. Room tone.
20 seconds of room tone.
Yep.
Just double checking that. Whoa, that's peaked up high. High. So input 2. Wow, that is peaked like crazy. Input 2 down to 1. Down to 1. Check you.
Check me.
Check
me.
you.
Check me. Check me.
Okay, that's good. Right. Okay, you ready? Pause room tone.
Hey guys, welcome to RCR Podcast number 37. It's July 11th, my birthday.
Happy birthday, Nick.
I've turned 33. I am Nick.
I'm Brian.
And yeah, basically here's how the format is going to go today. We are doing this is a back-to-back After Dark podcast where the first half is just going to be classic podcast format where we're just like shooting the shit. And then the second half, we're going to enable super chat and start answering questions so that we're kind of, trying to make everybody happy.
Right.
As opposed to the whole thing where, we're stopping our stories every 5 seconds to talk about, the super chat. But anyway, welcome to the podcast. And we are less than a week away from Chicago, right. RCR Chicago. Still don't have a location for the meet yet.
We do.
Oh, we do?
We do.
Right.
Let me grab my phone. And I was talking to Mike Steinberg, who's going to be our Chicago contact. And he told me of a location that we're going to use for... pull him up here. It's probably going to be Monday. So that's going to be Monday the what?
The Monday let's see. All right, 11,
your
12, 13, 14, 15, 16. The 16th.
Monday the 16th. It's not official yet. We'll put it on Twitter, but probably Monday the 16th is going to be the RCR Chicago meet. It's going to be in the greater Chicago area, not, of course, in the city.
Yeah.
Okay. Conversation between me and Mike. He says, I found a place. Do you have someone else is blowing me up? Oh, it's Juliet Johnson. It's going to be a parking garage. He says, yes. It is a road called Aviator Lane. I'll send you a screen cap of the area. Here's the designated roads in and out of it. Yeah, great. What's the address? Okay. The address of the parking garage for the to be determined RCR Chicago car meet, which will probably be in the afternoon, is 1 Wariva Deck, Glenview, Illinois. Or Walverne. How would you pronounce this?
Let's see. Where's it? Wolverina Deck, Glenview, Illinois. So 1 Wolverina Deck, Glenview, Illinois. It's literally the word Wolverine, but instead of the letter E at the end, it has the letter A. And then deck, as in like deck, and Glenview, which is Glenview, and then Illinois and the rest.
I think we're gonna arrive at O'Hare at like 1 in the afternoon, and so probably like 5 o'clock. We'll get like some food at the hotel or something in the area, relax for a little bit. then head to that parking garage. I'm guessing we're not going to go into the night. That's the last thing the local police would want.
Yeah.
We'll probably go for like 2 hours. I mean, that's about as entertaining as we can be for 2 hours.
Especially after, and yes, it's a 2-hour plane ride,
Right.
but you're still coming off of a plane, and you're still, it's.
One guy on the podcast says, Glenview, I rode the MD North Line through there.
Very
Cool.
nice. Very nice indeed.
Yeah, we have no real days in Chicago to like go into the city. I guess, well, depending on how fast we film, I'm sure Mike would want to take us into the city. The 2 times I've been to Chicago, or 1 time I've been to Chicago, it's super fun riding the train riding the train into downtown.
Yeah.
Because it's not like a subway. You don't see anything. You're elevated trains, and you're like seeing the city go by. It's pretty badass.
Sorry, I just got a notification that I've been liked and messaged on OkCupid. And so,
nice. All right. What's her name?
Man, to watch and rate me at my... Oh, okay. This is 100% spam. I will be straight. I'm just looking for someone man enough to watch and rate me at my page, and I'm willing to meet up after.
Oh, rate me.
Rate. Oh, yeah, rate. Me at my page, and it's all this other stuff. And I'm just willing to do is prove someone willing for me to meet me and to know that he's serious, and it's too easy at all. No hustle. Then they send me like a phone number. And I'm just no. Okay, so basically this has been a very movie filled week for me. Basically I've been doing the like in lieu of going to the pool, because there was one day this week that was so hot that you couldn't actually do anything. And my nephew didn't want to go to the pool, and so I'm like, hey, let's go to the movies. And so anyway, we saw Ant-Man and the Wasp, and it was good. It was a Marvel movie. Like, that's kind of what you say at this point about Marvel movies, of it was a Marvel movie. But the one that I actually saw that was really good was Won't You Be My Neighbor, which is the Mr. Rogers documentary. It's fantastic, and that is my sister calling, probably to wish me a happy birthday. But it's
I wonder if we should do a thing like Greg Fitzsimmons does on his podcast. If anybody calls, you have to go on speakerphone. It's like, hey, welcome to the podcast.
Okay, so Won't You Be My Neighbor, it's kind of weird in the sense that first of all, they dispel some of the myths about Mr. Rogers, which is that, he was this special forces shooter who killed people, and they said he hardly knew how to use a screwdriver, much less a sniper rifle.
He was in the service, or not in the service?
No, he wasn't. They said because he was studying to be in the seminary, and then and he is ordained, or was ordained, but if I've learned anything...
Take it on air. Take it on air. Right. He's getting another call.
Right. Wait a minute. This is my sister. One second. Hey.
Speaker.
One second, because you're on the podcast right now. Hello? Yeah, hello.
Maybe she butt dialed.
Hello? Maybe I did get butt dialed.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Aw, thank you. What are you...
Happy birthday, Theo.
Happy birthday. Why am I saying happy birthday too? I love you too. I love you very much. I've been thinking that I gotta go up there and visit you sometime.
Huh? You was gonna visit?
I have no idea when though. Hey, I'm on the podcast right now, so I
say hello.
So say hello to YouTube.
What? You're cutting out.
You're on the podcast right now, so say hello to YouTube.
Oh, say hi, YouTube. Say hi.
Hello.
Hi.
YouTube says hello.
Hi,
YouTube says hi back. Yeah. I meant to call earlier, but I kind of got lost in time. I'm terrible at keeping track of anything, but
That's all good. It's your birthday.
yeah, I
Your
know.
7-Eleven.
Huh? No,
You
because
got your Slurpee.
well, no, because I'm trying not to like get all in that sugary stuff now. Unless it's for a video with the boy, but still, it's I don't know. I suppose on the way home if I stop by one. But yeah.
If you're just joining us, Nick is taking a phone call on
Often that
air.
they wouldn't give him one because they ran out of Slurpee cups and lids.
Well, I mean, the thing is that, like, getting a free Slurpee on 7-Eleven from 7-Eleven has nothing to do with it being my birthday. Like, if it'd be weird if I were going somewhere, and I realize I never took advantage of any of the places that give you nice stuff for it being your birthday, that they give you sort of, discounts and all this other crazy stuff, which would be very nice. But yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna let you go because I'm probably I feel like, I don't know, I start to ramble when I'm on the phone and I don't want to keep it going too long.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Well, happy birthday, bro. I pray God blesses you with love and favor, and we love you.
All right, love you all too. God bless. I'll talk to you later.
Yep.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, so that was my sister Ketty and my niece Talia and my nephew Andre, and basically it was they call me every year on my, well, obviously, but usually it's a video call, but this was during the thing, and so I like turned off the video call, and then they called for real. So anyway, thanks for chilling with me through that.
Did they live in Pennsylvania?
No, they live in New Jersey.
Okay.
So yeah. I was just gonna go over and eventually, visit at some point. I just saw them a few weeks ago in Atlantic City, for some kind of event. And yeah, it's just very tiring. I love them to death. Love them to death. Love being around the kids. It's just, how like tiring it can be to be around kids, especially when you're going to the beach. And you go to the beach and, they get into water yay high and suddenly it's like, oh no, they're going to
ocean's gonna eat them.
Yeah. The same thing that happened to my brother when he was my nephew's age happened to my nephew when we were at Atlantic City, which is that he lost his shoe in the ocean, except the difference is that the ocean like spat it back out like 20 minutes later.
Yeah.
It was the weirdest thing. But yeah. Won't You Be My Neighbor? It's kind of a strange thing of, after seeing it, I came to the conclusion that we did not deserve Fred Rogers.
Probably not.
Like the world as a whole, him refusing to bring his like, a lot of people didn't know he was ordained, and it's because he never mentioned religion, because he hated the idea that someone would feel excluded just because they didn't believe in the same things that he believed.
Right.
And there was nothing ever in a movie has made me as angry as this like 2.5 second clip where some conservative news, or not even, it's a 24-hour news channel, like commentators, it was like, Fred Rogers was an evil man, and he created this generation of people who are like the generation of participation trophy kids who think, oh, the world is owed to them and they deserve everything because they had people like Mr. Rogers telling them they could be whatever they wanted and they have value. And it's just like, how big of a dick do you have to be to demonize a man like Fred Rogers?
Right.
I mean, who's literally never done anything that I would think is worthy of any sort of ire.
Right. But you're right about the 24-hour news cycle. I mean, they just have to say something, and this is a guy trying to, fill Darkseid his way into relevance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
or Darkseid fill way his way into relevance.
Yeah.
And I just bring that up because I was watching a whole lot of Down the Rabbit Hole, which
Wonderful
I fully
channel.
recommend that YouTube channel. Like, I looked at that as almost a gold standard of podcast or of a new type of I don't know if it's a new type of documentarian, but there's a certain characteristic to, whose name's also Fred, to cover Internet 1.0 stuff.
Yeah.
It's not the same as talking to people who were there, or it's not the same as Encyclopedia
Dramatica,
or no, in Britannica, like a legit
Britannica.
one, or looking up old manuals or news footage, because none of the stuff of the rise and fall of these little internet kingdoms back in the AOL age, or like maybe the early 2000s, it was all poorly documented. Stuff existed on web forums that was on like some server, and when they disappear, they're just gone. Unlike print, that you can just, if you want, you can go find the original microfilm. Anyway,
man, I remember how cool I used to think it was when, like, I got my first computer and it had a little Encarta disc, and you put those in, and it played the video too. I'm like, yeah, it's history, baby.
Fucking research.
Yeah, look at this. I'm gonna get an A. All the A's. They're gonna belong to me.
Encarta 1994.
Yeah.
What did I have? I had like Encarta 96 or something.
I had like 98, because I think 98 was... No, it was 99 when I got my first computer.
Okay.
The first like family desktop computer.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we had like one of those IBM or whatever, the ones that are, basically you use them as a word processor. Yeah. But other than that, that was the first one, and I thought Encarta was so cool. Yeah. I'm just like, even when I'm not...
You can click on links in the article, it goes to other articles.
Oh, man.
Fucking hell.
The world we live in. What an age. What an age.
Multimedia.
Yeah.
It's interactive.
Now
they
I can
put the word interactive on the box, which in itself was a thing. Software boxes.
Yeah.
You go to electronics boutique, Babbage's, and the software came in a box.
Yeah.
But not just a box big enough for the CD-ROM. No. This frickin' box is like a bento box. It's like, it's the size of, you know what? It was almost the dimensions of a legal pad, and the depth of like a shoe. Yeah, a little bit under the size of a shoebox for one CD-ROM. But when software came with books,
yeah, that doesn't really happen now, because when I buy like software, if I buy software for a certain component of my computer, it's usually done completely digitally. It's it's an install that I just download off the thing, and then you get like a PDF file that's a thing. But back then you were getting like these giant manuals in the one review where where you had the
like QuickBooks or something. No, it's like TurboTax, or
I'm gonna teach you how to do your taxes.
And it was the entire stack of 3.5-inch floppy drives.
Yeah. But but just to finish up, the coming out of Won't You Be My Neighbor, I came to the realization that or the first thing that I thought of, other than that's like a sensational movie and Fred Rogers is a great man, or was a great man, was that, man, the biopic with Tom Hanks, they really picked the wrong guy to be Mr. Rogers. Because like, Tom Hanks doesn't look a single loving thing like him. His son Colin Hanks does. And I think he's played him before, but it's basically, I think they picked Tom Hanks for the Mr. Rogers biopic because we collectively feel the way about Tom Hanks that we used to feel about Mr. Rogers, like that, the all father, that he's just that type of, or they just wanted someone that they knew a scandal wasn't going to come out about. But it's like, he doesn't look anything like Mr. Rogers, and he doesn't sound anything like him either. And Tom Hanks is a great actor, but he's not like a transformative actor.
No,
like every time he's up there, he's still Tom Hanks. And
day one from fucking Splash.
He's never not been Tom Hanks.
No.
I think Forrest Gump is the closest he's come to like not being Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
And that's, and he had to go far out of his, comfort zone. He won back-to-back Oscars, 93 for Philadelphia and 94 for Forrest Gump. And one of the few men to do it. But he hasn't been nominated for anything since Castaway. Yeah. Which is crazy to me. But yeah, it's kind of I don't know, it was a great movie. And then the last one that I saw that I rented on YouTube was Ready Player One. Okay. Which is references the movie. It's literally just all the fan service in the world, and I expected that the plot was kind of going to make more sense. But when you try to think of the logistics of this world, which is basically that, all right, it's a crap sack world, so everybody goes into this virtual reality place called the Oasis, where they can like just sort of hang out and do all the other things that they do in the real world. But the difference is that there are actually like schools in this virtual world. And if you die in this world, like your avatar can come back, but you lose everything that you've amassed over the course. So like you could have 14 years worth of like stuff on your character, like 14 years worth of just stuff that you've like costumes, weapons, upgrades, and then you lose all of it once you zero out. And so I'm thinking like, what about the people who are just going to school in this thing, or people who are working inside of this thing, because apparently they have jobs inside of that like sphere, this oasis. It's just such an incredibly strange movie, but I did like it because it's Spielberg going back to being that nostalgia Spielberg of the kind of like E.T., you know, that sense of wonder Spielberg. And I don't know, like the visuals probably aren't going to hold up like 5 years from now, but all that really matters is that you get a sense of wonder out of it. It's basically a prize hunt, and there are too many or there's so many references, like my favorite one, because the references are fine, but I didn't actually get a reaction to any of them until the big magic spell towards the end of the movie is the Charm of Making from Excalibur, which is I don't know what that is. Oh, it's my favorite movie of all time. John Borman's Excalibur, where, you know, the director basically films his daughter having sex with what? It's an incredibly weird movie. Like John Borman casts his own daughter as the mother of King Arthur, and it requires her to have sex completely naked with Gabriel Byrne while he's in full armor, and it's an incredibly awkward love scene. I mean, he's basically, you know, raping her in the sense that like he's disguised as her husband. Trust me, it's a good movie if you just ignore all of the weirdness. But it's kind of hard to not kind of get roped into the weirdness of the Arthurian legend.
There was I saw clips. There was a DeLorean time machine in Ready Player One, but I thought from the clips that they put the Knight Rider scanner light on the front of it.
They put a lot of things on a lot of like that's the only way I can really explain it, because they had, you know, the 66 Batmobile, they had the motorcycle from Akira, they had a bunch of I don't know, like a lot of. Basically, you can build things inside that world. Like one of the characters is building the Iron Giant on commission. And so, you know, there have been other things like, hey, you want a Millennium Falcon? It's like, we can get you a Millennium Falcon if you just join our evil organization, you know, that type of thing. And they have all these different things where you can, you know, like for instance, you can go hang gliding in a hurricane, which obviously can't do in real, well, not, I was going to say not with that attitude, but it's kind of, I don't know. I liked it for what it was. It's incredibly exposition heavy,
more or less than Inception.
That's a good question. They're about on par in the sense that, okay, I'm going to say more because Inception doesn't also use voiceover to give it to you.
Okay.
Because Ready Player One uses voiceover on top of characters talking to each other about things that they should already know.
Okay.
And it's incredibly weird. And I just can't really, you know. But other than that, I thought it was a fine movie. It's too long by like a half hour, but, you know, it's whatever.
Right.
Good times. Good times of movie. A lot of movies out. So
yeah. I have not seen any movies in the past 2 weeks. I've been riding the motorcycle a lot. Still have to review my DR650. I am going to be selling it probably immediately following the review. What I noticed, and you'll hear it of the review of my 2013 DR650, is that the second you buy a dual sport motorcycle, suddenly you see no trespassing signs everywhere, and DCNR land, can't ride here, can't ride there, can't go off road.
Is it kind of a response to your having gotten the motorcycle, or is it one of those like Bader Meinhof situations where suddenly you're noticing it now?
Bader Meinhof. Yeah. It's like, oh, all of these fire trails and the paths that go underneath power lines, can't ride here, it's illegal, no motor vehicles, damn it.
Yeah.
So and I did find some trails that I could go on, and then realizing that a DR650, a stock DR650, is pretty much a street bike with some off-roading capabilities, in the same way that a stock Wrangler is still a car.
Yeah.
It's not until you do stuff to a Wrangler that it can go off-road with any respect. Like, I suppose a JK has more off-road capability than a TJ, but I'm still stuck in the 90s. So when I think Wrangler, I think a TJ Wrangler. And you see them out there, TJs and some YJ Wranglers rolling around on just 13-inch wheels and just street tires.
Yeah.
Like this, yes, it's a Jeep. Yes, it can, as four-wheel drive. Is it going to go off-road? Not really. And also a DR650 is very heavy at over 400 pounds. So what I'm going to trade it for, or sell it, and then use the money to either buy it's going to be one of three bikes as of now. The new retro Honda CB1100. These are all going to be 4-cylinder bikes. That's about 90 horsepower. A Suzuki, which discontinued one. It's a Suzuki GXF or GSXF, which is really, remember when we did that Suzuki Bandit up in State College?
Yeah.
It's one of those, but with a full fairing on it, like full covers on it. And that's a 650 4-cylinder, and I think that makes like 95 horsepower. And then the fastest one would be a Honda 919, which is a naked bike. That one makes about 100 horsepower. That would be probably the fastest bike I've ever owned, but still not as fast as like a Ducati, that Ducati 999.
Just
so
stupid fast.
Yeah, I want sort of a middleweight bike. Anyway.
Speaking of middleweight, did you see the
No.
Oh,
tell me though.
No. I meant to send you the link to the finish of the fight that Stipe got knocked the fuck out.
No, he did.
Yeah, new champion. But it's one of those things where they have like immense respect for each other. Like in the 24/7 between Daniel Cormier and Stipe Miocic. Miocic. It's it was just literally like kind of them hanging out. Like, you went to go visit him at his firehouse of like, dude, you're like the world champion and you're an actual hero. And, oh man, but you're like, one of the greatest of all time in any division. And it's just funny in the sense that these two went in with such respect for each other.
I like that.
And now, Cormier is a double champ too, so it's kind of funny. And then at the end of it, like, Brock Lesnar was in the audience and Cormier calls
That's
out
what
Brock
I heard.
Lesnar.
Like, someone said this is getting too WWE for me. Was that you?
Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of people said that, but what drove me nuts was the fact that, like, okay, I get what they're going for of, they're trying to hype the fight, but like, could everyone not be smiling while this is happening? Like, Cormier has the biggest, dopiest, like, oh man, I'm getting to do WWE grin on his face. And Lesnar is like laughing his ass off. Joe Rogan has like grinning from ear to ear. Even Dana, who finally doesn't look like a tomato for once, is also smiling, just like, and it's just, it just took all sort of menace out of it. Like, yeah, they were shoving each other, but it's like that kind of, it wasn't even like this passive aggressive smile of, I'm sick of, but yeah, it's just strange. That'll be a super fight, and it probably won't happen until January, but I don't know if the title will be on the line or if it even should be, because Brock is coming off USADA. It's because he like retired and he still had 6 months left on his USADA suspension
and
from
that
the last one.
away.
And it doesn't go away. So now that he's entering back into the USADA testing pool, he has another 6 months on that sentence before he can fight again. So yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
Interesting indeed.
So just to let you know, we are not ignoring the chat. We will go to the chat after we discontinue this stream. We're going to take a break. I'm going to pour myself a drink, actually, get some food in me, and then we'll come back.
Yeah. How long have we been going so far?
Half hour.
That's good.
Question: are we coming to California? I mean, eventually, how do we stay away?
Yeah, it's really hard to stay away from there.
People are asking who just came in, hey, when are you guys coming to Chicago? This coming Monday is, as of now, is the RCR Chicago meet in Glenview at a gigantic parking garage on Wolverina Street in Glenview, Illinois.
Wolverina deck. Like it's like, I don't know, because I've never heard of like a street path being known as deck, but it's
don't worry, the clumsy gamer, we're coming back.
Yeah.
This is just the not us talking to the stream chat. We're actually trying to have a conversation, and then it'll be just streaming and chat, and then super chat questions when we come back.
Yeah. But what time will the Glenview car meet be at? They're asking.
Time of day, probably when you get off work. So I'm thinking like 5 p.m. Something like that.
Thoughts on the Dan Bell YouTube channel? What's funny is I finally, after months and months of putting it off because I thought it would be too depressing, finally watched his dead mall on the mall that I basically grew up in, the Fairgrounds Mall. And it is the saddest video you will ever see in your life. And that was 4 years ago, and it's even sadder now. I don't know how that... Well, okay, they keep saying it's been sold and it's going to be demolished or turned into like housing or something else. They keep saying that, but nothing happens and everything remains open. The only things in there that are worth a damn are the movie theater and the Boscovs. The Boscovs, you would never know that it was connected to a dead mall. That Boscovs is pristine. It's delightful. Yeah. It's got one of the nicer greeneries out of the many Boscovs in this area. And I don't know, but it was an incredibly sad watch just because I remember that mall when it was like really bumping. I imagine like in a very Ready Player One type of sense, people would like climb Mount Everest with Batman. I would just go back to like the fucking Fairgrounds Mall back when it was on. Yeah. Like, because I'm that...
Back when there were VR arcades in there.
Yeah, when there were arcades, when there were like huge crowds, and it's just very... I don't know. I'm a very like mall person.
Hell yeah.
Obviously by the amount of times I say like, but
What's in Phone says Houston, Texas meetup, more like Austin, Texas meetup.
Yeah, it's in October.
October.
Right? Yeah.
October, Austin, Texas.
That'll be cool.
Parking lot of the On It office. Anyway, I have to tell you the truth, Dad clicked. I don't regret it. I don't regret
Insert
it.
Gurren Lagann reference here.
I don't get the reference.
I mean, I watched Gurren Lagann and I don't get the reference. Okay. Yeah, I finally finished JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, which was fantastic. And now I realize that I finally have people I can cosplay as if I go to like a convention or something, because there are so many varieties of people that you can dress as in that thing for different body types. So I'm kind of, looking forward to New York Comic Con this year, and possibly also not like, this is the first year where I'm not fat enough to be like, I have more options now. I mean, yeah. But other things.
Yeah, other things. I keep saying to people that I'm going to attempt to hike the entire Appalachian Trail in 2020 or 2021. The weird thing is, if I attempt this, exactly, Upper Robin, exactly.
What? Oh, yeah.
I mean, maybe when we're in Austin at the On It offices, maybe we'll get on Aubrey Marcus's podcast.
Maybe. That'd be nice.
I'm up for it. But The idea to hike the entire AT means taking 6 months off, which means me taking 6 months off of RCR, which means you would have to run it.
Yeah.
I'd just say, Nick, just do whatever you want.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I'm comfortable enough to give you my Google login.
Yeah.
So it's not that I don't trust you. It's just it's an unknown that I don't know.
Yeah, it's an unknown. Well, I mean, we could.
It's like a universal password that you have for everything, and now it's on a laptop that I don't control.
Oh, in the months leading up to it, you could basically like train me to do what you do.
Yeah.
I mean, now granted, what I do is really not going to be at the same level as what we do together.
Right.
But I would be hoping to, like, in the months leading up, to just bank a bunch of RCR stories.
Yeah.
So, and we would bank, like, I don't know, maybe like a month or two of videos. Like, they will be low earning months and it'll be a low earning year. But at the end of the day, we're still making money,
right?
In a way, or set up a Patreon of like donate to us so that we while like Mr. Regular's adventure in the AT.
And right when I would post, because I clearly would post stuff from the AT, but it would probably have to be its own YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Or if somehow you can link to, because no one, if you're not into long distance hiking, then you wouldn't really care to watch my updates. Another thing would be, like, if you film stuff beforehand, you could, if you wanted, as I would get near to Pennsylvania, meet me at a hotel somewhere near the trail.
Yeah.
And I'd zero for 2 days, which means not hike for 2 days. And, like, we'd find a Hilton somewhere. You pick me up at a trailhead in the Mustang, and we just hang out at a hotel. I shower 500 times and just do laundry and then upload stuff to YouTube from there.
I mean, I imagine
because you run into a town like every 5 days, so now that's a big thing to ask, like driving down. But as I would reach Virginia, that's not too bad of a drive.
Yeah, it's really not.
No.
And I've made it many times. But what you're describing, like if you film it, it's almost like motion picture length. Like I imagine, like there's a movie in that somewhere. Like there's kind of like All Cars Go to Heaven, but without the cars.
Right. I don't know if people would pay to really watch that, or if I would have just a separate channel. I just follow IB Tat's example, and when you see the stuff, he's doing it all with like a point and shoot and an iPhone, and he's editing on an iPad. Yeah. And he's editing every single night. And he releases videos Monday through Wednesday. What he does is that he banks the videos, and then when he gets to a town, he'll like sit in the Dunkin' Donuts where he has Wi-Fi. Yeah. And then just upload them from his iPad from there. That's
what I do with me and my nephew's video. Like if you search Nicholas Roman on YouTube, you'll find like my personal channel, which I post videos with my nephew called Limited Time Roman, where we try limited time only food products. And basically all of that is done sort of in camera, like all the editing.
I'm the Tom Waits fan.
I also am a Tom Waits fan, but because of you.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Well, I named this podcast Things Will Be Better in Chicago after the Tom Waits song. Maybe Things Will Be Better in Chicago.
Nice.
It was called In Chicago.
Nice. But yeah, all of that is done in camera, and so and by in camera I don't mean I'm literally stopping and making cuts, but that like all the footage is in my phone gallery, and then I have a little app where I can like move these, like I can do the editing on that app and then just post them right to YouTube.
Okay.
And really the whole reason that they're there is that like my nephew likes to, it's literally just it's just my name. It's just Nicholas Roman, because it's like I just put them on my own YouTube account, and like there's no ambition for any of them to make money. It's just something that that'd be cool. But it's there for it's just me and my nephew sort of hanging out. And there was one where we did these organic Doritos that were white cheddar. They are actually better than regular Doritos, like by several orders of magnitude. It's kind of weird, but yeah, the camera started to die, and so I ended up cutting in clips of us at an arcade,
Nice.
just playing games. And then I had, for the next one, like the phone gets too hot, so it has to turn off. And so in that one, I cut in clips of my nephew go-kart racing, because I've never seen anybody become as natural at anything as my nephew is at go-karts. It's actually kind of mortifying watching him like make these turns, essentially like cut kids up with not really cutting them off. He's like artfully like moving through, like it's almost like if a go-kart could dance past people, and it was just like, you know, it makes it, I'm like, like I immediately see it and I'm thinking like, how can I make money with it? No, no. It's like, because I realize
You get lucrative.
yeah, because no, the Reading Fair has like kids, which is every August. They have like actual races, and it's a competition like in various different, like, you know, the 4-wheelers, the 2 wheels, like motorized vehicles, and I think go-karts is one of the events. But the problem is that like they don't give you the go-karts. Like, you have to get your own go-kart, and I'm not buying a damn go-kart. I'm like, you know, if his dad wants to buy him a go-kart, or my brother wants to buy him a go-kart, like that's fine. Yeah. But Uncle Nick ain't buying the damn thing. Or I'm guessing some of them would be very like, they would be getting sponsored, like some of these kids. Probably. Maybe.
Yeah. Like if I can get an Advanced Auto Parts sponsorships, they're getting a sponsorship from like Keenan Carburetors or something to make those things go faster.
Yeah.
Well, super chat. We're going to get that going in a little bit, Kyle, and probably that time is now. I'm going to get some food in me, mix myself a beverage, and then we'll be back. We're going to stop this stream right now.
All right.
We're going to be back. I'm going to go into the YouTube Manager and start up Super Chat, and that'll be that. But for all the people listening just on the podcast, just the audio podcast, this is where it ends.
Yeah. All right.
So thank you so much for listening. I'm Brian.
I'm Nick. Thank you so much.
Have a great week.